Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 is in a very weird spot. Despite the actual trailer having been out around a month or two ago, we haven't really had much information in terms of when a new trailer is going to come out, what specific gameplay features that the game has, etc. So we're left with V-jump scans that are quite frankly mediocre and just speculation, but that very well may change. So I'll go into the specifics of this. There has been a new state of play that has been announced for June. Let's look at this. State of play set for June 2nd, featuring more than 60 minutes of announcements. Sony Interactive Live will host a state of play on June 2nd at 2:00 p.m. The company announced. You will be able to watch it on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. The broadcast, which will run for more than 60 minutes, will feature updates, announcements, and gameplay reveals from the top studios around the world, starting off with a closer look at Marvel's Wolverine from Insomniac Games. Sony Interactive Entertainment is also partnering with that company in the US to host special live watch party viewings of the broadcast, free. But limited tickets will be available at that website starting at 6:00 a.m. or whatever, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Available in locations include Chicago, Los Angeles, New York City, that Raleigh, and the San Francisco Bay Area. Here is also the actual times. So for the state of play will actually begin June 2nd on the English channel at 5:00 p.m. and it will be on the official PlayStation channel, which if you do a search, you could pretty much find it. Now, I guess the big question is, are we going to get an actual trailer for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 at the state of play? Well, in my opinion, I do not think the chances are zero, but it's going to be interesting because the thing is, I can't recall if we've ever had any Dragon Ball games being revealed or kind of like gameplay footage of them at the state of plays. It's like Sony tends to do these state of plays, I want to say infrequently, to where you don't really know what's going to happen. So is it a likely chance? Honestly, I would say there is a chance. It could be unlikely, but it is not zero. Still, I figured I'd put this update out because, I mean, let's be real here. What other tangible information do we actually have? What other thing? We also have to kind of like look at the positive in some aspects in terms of when we could have this, when we could have that. So it's like when they had the battle hour stream, we didn't really have a good grasp in terms of what we're gonna be doing in terms of information for Xenoverse 3 moving forward. So I think that there is a chance that Xenoverse 3 will be appearing at this event. But you could argue that it's unlikely, but I would also argue that the chance is not zero. Now, of course, if it doesn't appear at State of Play, then there's always Summer Game Fest, which I think I've discussed this before, but it's usually with Geoff Keighley and they do a lot of presentation of mini games, and this would be like the most likely scenario where we could actually have a trailer for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, especially since we've had trailers for other Dragon Ball games in this event. Obviously, looking back at this, there was an old tweet from this individual. Okay, so it's safe to assume we'll get no Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 news at Summer Game Fest. It's way too soon. That's what I thought initially. I don't expect them to reveal any more info until after Future Saga Chapter 4 is out, which the logistics of that statement does make sense. But hopefully we'll get a new Xenoverse 2 DLC character trailer fairly soon. To which Rhymestyle says, it's coming way sooner than you think. So to me, that's like, I'm not a Bandai person, but to me that says that kind of hints that we won't have to wait for like a huge amount of time, like with the Sparking Zero stuff, especially since Xenoverse 3 is coming in 2027. When it will, I don't really know, but him saying to me it's coming way sooner than we think, especially in relation to this person's tweet, tells me it could be around the range of the Summer Game Fest. June in general is a possibility. But if like it doesn't happen where we don't have a trailer for Xenoverse 3 at Summer Game Fest, then I suppose there's always the Xbox showcase, which happens at June 7th, and it starts, around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Although, to be honest, if it's a situation where they have the Xenoverse 3 trailer at the State of Play, but not the Xbox showcase, or I guess the reverse, where they have it at the Xbox showcase only at the State of Play, to me, that just that wouldn't really make sense. Especially because Bandai Namco no doubt has the budget to promote their game on multiple streams. So that's of course assuming that it does get shown on the State of Play. But you know what, we'll see. The other thing I wanted to address was that apparent kind of like teaser of a Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Future Saga Chapter 4 launch trailer that everyone's been talking about. And obviously we all talk about it because it's very rare that they update the playlist. Well, at least in the past, there have been situations where updating a playlist kind of like meant that, okay, we were gonna get a trailer soon. Well, this person seems to think otherwise. I hate to admit, but I don't think the launch trailer would be this week. The DLCs usually come after the Supreme Kai of Time tournament, and instead there's another raid next week. So maybe it's possible we have to wait longer than we think. Maybe they made a mistake updating the playlist. And this guy, Janik, he usually knows his stuff, even though me and him have had like disagreements, I want to say a few years ago, but whatever. He seems to think that we likely won't have anything until next month, but of course we have to wait and see, and them updating the playlist usually means nothing. I believe he mentioned that they had 2 hidden videos on the Extra Pack 2 of 4 trailer, and another being a broken version of the Spotlight series, so to him it doesn't really mean anything. In my personal opinion, I also think it's very unlikely we're gonna get a trailer maybe next week or even early June, especially because they have like July to September 2026. The 4th chapter in the Future Saga series depicts an unprecedented alteration of history, includes a new playable character and more. Now, let's just give it a chance to say, okay, they changed this stuff, especially like with the playable character when we'll obviously get more than one character. According to here, summer begins on June 21st, and the actual Future Saga Chapter 4 DLC advertises that it will be coming in the summer. So it is a possibility. I'm not gonna lie. It is a possibility that it will come in June, in late June. It's also a possibility it'll come in July. It may very well come out next, I want to say 2 weeks from now in early June. But for me, I just don't think it's likely. Overall, I'm definitely hyped for Xenoverse 3 and just what will come out of that game, and of course the last Future Saga Chapter 4 DLC. I do not want anything to do with Sparking Zero, but of course I upload it only for the views. That's just how it's gonna be. But hey, the fact that we have competition and we have like another game to look forward to kind of like sparks that interest and drive in me again, compared to say being in a world where we only have one type of game. Like, Jesus Christ, that would be a travesty. Anyway, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all next time.